Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's February now, and so it's time to start thinking about what are we going to do to get prepared for this upcoming gold hunting season here in WA. So our season, if you want to call it that, generally extends in the cooler months of the year, so everything other than summer basically. So it extends from generally late Feb, early March, all the way through to November sometimes, depending on your tolerance for heat. You might even get into some beginning of parts of December, but I usually bail around about the beginning of November. So that gives us 3/4 of the year, sort of thing like that, to play around with our gold hunting. So what do we need to do to get ready? Well, there's a couple of things you need to do. One, if this is the first time you're going out there gold hunting and you've never been before, is obviously be prepared. Enough safety gear. There's plenty of other videos about that to find out what you need. Half decent camping gear, reliable vehicle, quality metal detecting gear. So that's sort of the basics to get you through the thing, and then you need to get knowledge. And one of the big ones also is set realistic expectations. If this is the first time going out, and especially if you're going out by yourself or even with a group of mates who have never been prospecting before, set realistic expectations. The probability of you going out and finding gold on the first couple of trips is low, not big. Let's put it that way. It's better than playing lotto. It's better than being eaten by a great white shark in the sea while being stung to death by bees. But it's not big. Okay, let's be real. Let's be real. The key to getting better odds in your favor is knowledge. So start learning up on how to find gold, where to go, how to play around with your detector, what does the different sounds mean, those sort of things. So start figuring out that bit. So the next part is, briefly alluded to beforehand, was equipment. But that was the camping and the vehicle and etc. But get a quality metal detector. Buying a cheapy $200 metal detector from J-Car or someplace like that just ain't going to cut it in Western Australia. It works great on the beach, don't get me wrong. You can find all sorts of things on the beach and it's great for the kids to play around. It's even great in some of the parks. But once you get out in the goldfields, the iron concentration in the ground is so high that all your metal detectors are just making noise with every single pass. And it doesn't matter if you're passing over a real target or not, it's just like continually making noise. It is not worth the effort. Now, second-hand metal detectors are worthwhile considering, and if you can't afford either and you still want to get out there, then seriously look at renting metal detectors. Many of the major metal detector shops have rent options. You can line GPX 6000. You can rent it for about $50 a day, give or take a bit, which is not bad considering even if you went out for a 10-day strip. That's only a $500 investment, considering the machine is worth nearly $9,000 brand new. Big savings, and you get a machine for some fairly low dollars. So that's what, consider getting the right equipment. The right equipment will make a huge difference for you. The next one you've got to get, and this is just a no-brainer, you just got to get it. You've got to get a Western Australian miner's rod. Now, if you haven't got one of these, you're not legally allowed to prospect anywhere, even if someone gives you permission. It's just not going to go. Well, permission to go on a lease. If you go on private land, freehold land, then you don't need a miner's right, but you still need written permission from the landholder to go access to that land. That's why most people don't bother even prospecting on private land. It's just getting the written permission is too hard, so you just go onto the Crown land. And if you go on Crown land, you need to get a miner's right. A video up on this channel that talks about getting a miner's right, so search it up, find it super cheap, like $25, less than $30. It's a one-time fee, it lasts the rest of your life. Yeah, I've had mine for nearly 40 years. So yeah, get it. The next two, should say, are not essential, but if you want to take your prospecting up to the next level, then you should actually seriously consider the Australian Geology Travel Maps put out by Trilobot Solutions. Now, most people in the prospecting game will call it Trilobot, and it is an app for your phone, runs on Android and iOS, and allows you to have geological maps, gold locations, satellite imagery, a whole bunch of other things on your phone out in the bush without an internet connection. So really great. There's an option there to get all the tenements, which is the official name for leases or claims, as they like to call them in the Western movies. But these are the tenements, and it shows you which ones you're allowed to go on in blue and which ones you're not allowed to go on, ones in green. Yeah, get yourself that. It's a paid application. It's a annual fee, around about the $17, $15. I can't remember. It's not huge. It's not a deal breaker, but it is really handy to go out in the field. And as you walk around holding the phone or the tablet or whatever you got out there, gazillion kilometers from the nearest phone tower, it will actually show you a little dot on the map with your lease boundaries to say which lease are you in and in which direction you're heading. Very, very handy. And the last one, which I would strongly suggest people organize, get themselves a membership to APLA. APLA is the Amalgamated and Prospectors Leaseholders Association. They've been around since about early 1900s, about 1904, I think. I'm a member of them. Well worthwhile. They give you public indemnity insurance, so you can go on and get more likely to get access to some of the live ground when you ask for permission. But it is the voice, really. This is the voice for prospectors and small leaseholders in the fight against governments and big mining companies who basically want to squash out prospecting altogether. They just see it as, easy wins for votes to get rid of prospectors. Yeah, join APLA. It's about $100 a year. You don't have to do it, but I'd strongly suggest maybe the second year you're doing prospecting, you actually join up. So those are sort of the main things to have in the backpack. You're ready to go. Then you need to start thinking about how often you're likely to get out in the bush this year. Most of us, I put myself in that bag, work full time. We only get 4 weeks leave a year. So how likely are you to get out there, and how close is the nearest goldfields to you? If you're starting out, I would suggest going to some place as close as possible. Generally, one of the closer places in Perth is around the Southern Cross area. That's the first lot of ground you find outside the freehold Southwest Ag Zone. And there's plenty of gold that's been found around there and still being found around there. So look where you're likely to go. Start researching the ground and start finding out what other people have found around there. And this is in government reports. It's all publicly available. You just have to look for it. The other thing is start to become familiar with things like the Australian Travel Geology Map, or Trilobite. From now on, I'll just refer to it as Trilobite. Start to get familiar with Tengraph and GeoView. These are both applications put out by the WA Mines Department, or called DMIRS, Department of Mines and Industry Regulation. I forget what the I and the R stands for. And they've been around for a long time, but they are the authoritative guard on the tenements, the geology, the drilling, a whole bunch of other information. So get familiar with them. One of the nice things about belonging to APLA is APLA runs free training, or very low cost, to put it this way now, training on how to maximize the use of those applications. So you can go to a 3/4 day training session where they will cover both GeoView and Tengraph, or they even run evening sessions where you can do either Tengraph and or GeoView. So once you have those in mind, you can start planning the year ahead. And that will set the expectations for the year. You won't finish the year saying, I spent all this money, I got out there twice, didn't find anything, I'm giving up. Well, not so fast. Not so fast. Also, again, going back to the expectations, is just because other people on YouTube show them finding gold every single time they go out, doesn't mean they find gold every single time they go out. There's many of the gold prospecting videos out there. Not all. There's a couple of very reputable ones out there, but many are done purely for the entertainment factor. So some of the gold they find may not be real. The gold itself is real, but the discovery process, it may be planted, it's done that, whatever, just to give some excitement and to get the views. So realistic expectations, know where you're going, have the right gear, and you should be right to go for 2024. Take care, guys. See you in the next video.